Zach Wilson has been named the starter against the Detroit Lions.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and quick announcement before we hop into the breaking news. If you haven't been following along on Twitter or seen my community posts, I've been sick. That's why I haven't posted many videos, and still very sick. That's why I'm not at 100%. I'm not going to be super high energy like I normally am or anything like that, but this is such big news that there's no way that I'm going to miss out on this. And so let's talk about it. Zach Wilson has been named the starter for the New York Jets against the Detroit Lions. And ultimately, I understand why they did it. It's not a benching of Mike White. He wasn't medically cleared by our doctors. And when he went to go pursue outside opinions, he wasn't able to find a doctor that would clear him for contact. And so with Zach Wilson being elevated to the number 2 spot, it makes a lot of sense that Zach Wilson is going to get the start against the Detroit Lions. And Robert Saleh also alluded to the fact that more than likely this means that he's also going to be starting against the Jacksonville Jaguars because of the short week. Now, this makes a lot of sense. These are the 2 best teams for the New York Jets to start him against. And that's basically because both games are home games. And so you don't have to deal with any travel. You don't have to do with any of that. You get the extra prep. You get to do all of that stuff when you play the home game, especially on a short week on the Thursday nights. I talked about that in a previous video. If you haven't watched that, card right here will pop up with that video talking about how Thursday night football is broken. That being said, you have to look at it and you say this is a great opportunity for Zach. He hasn't played in the last 3 weeks, and he's really been able to just focus on his footwork. He flew in John Beck, I don't remember his first name, Beck, his quarterback's coach, to come in and work with him. Now, this time not on an official capacity with the team. He's had time to review his tape. He's had time to get his mental right. And I think more than importantly, the biggest thing that he's been able to see is he's been able to watch Mike White go out there and sling the rock so effectively for 3 games in a row, to go watch Mike White throw for 315 yards against a bad football team in the Chicago Bears. Must have been, one, a little bit demoralizing, but that puts a lot of tape on what he can be doing well. Same thing, watch Mike White throw for 370 yards against the Minnesota Vikings and keep them competitive in a game that I think that the Jets should have won. That's another one of those things that he can watch a lot of that tape. And then to be able to watch Mike White go out there against Buffalo, throw for 270 yards, but also put his body on the line and sacrifice and all of that stuff for his team, again, makes a lot of sense for Zach and his growth, because I never thought his problems were truly a fundamentals problem. I'm not saying that he is fundamentally sound. He is a fundamentally flawed quarterback, but he is one of those quarterbacks where his fundamental flaws get made up by the fact that he has insane athleticism. That's why we drafted him. We knew he had these fundamental flaws coming in, but the real reason you draft him is because of the off-angle sidearm throws and the over-the-shoulder throws and the, throwing the ball out of the stadium kind of a thing. And that's why you took him. I really think that the problem with Zach going into all of these games was a mental aspect. When he plays free, when he plays loose, when he plays confident, he is throwing the ball accurately, on time, effectively, all of those things. Where when he's worried about throwing interceptions, when he's worried about turnovers, when he's worried about these other things and this outside noise coming in, it really affects him, and we don't want to see that. And so this is a great opportunity because the Detroit Lions don't have a good defense anywhere that would affect Zach Wilson outside of the D-line. And this is a great opportunity to get the ball to his wide receivers, regain their confidence. Garrett Wilson just broke the rookie record and is really close to getting 1,000 yards, and he's probably gunning for that. And this would be a great opportunity to rebuild that relationship, and also get Elijah Moore involved and rebuild that relationship and just make up for the fact that we lost the last 2. There are a lot of Zach Wilson believers out there that keep bringing up, we're 5-2 with Zach Wilson, we're 0-2 since we benched him. And this is a great opportunity to I guess, prove those people right, even though I find that argument a bit asinine. This is a great opportunity for him to prove himself right. And ultimately, this is an opportunity for him to win the job back. If he goes out there and he balls out and he plays well and he does the same thing against Jacksonville, well, keep the hot hand, right? That's what Mike LaFleur said. That's what Robert Saleh said. This is an opportunity for him to keep his spot and, become the starter again, which I think for a lot of Jets fans was the ultimate hope for Zach Wilson. I was never rooting for Zach Wilson to be bad, and I hoped that this benching would lead to him being good, because a young second overall pick at 24 or 23 or whatever he is with insane athleticism and talent is a much better thing to bank on than, a 27-year-old who just kind of came onto the scene. Now, that's not anything against Mike White. If Mike White's the quarterback and he comes back for the Seattle, I'm rooting for whoever's under center. I don't care. And so we're going to have to see what happens. This is a really, really interesting conversation to be had. Keep and stay tuned, guys. I'm going to do a full Detroit Lions breakdown right after this video, so it should be uploaded in a couple of hours. So stick around for that. And last but not least, go Jets.